Oh. Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me hard.
Buy this car to drive to work to pay for this car. Buy this car to drive to work.
Welcome to the Yellow Brick Road. I'm Jordan, and today I'm going to check out Michael Brooks and Joshua Kahn Russell I'm going to listen to them talk about spirituality in regards to politics. But first, please consider donating to Devon's Journey to Recovery. The GoFundMe link is in the description box. Click the link, read the story, check out the other donations, then make a donation yourself. None of the money goes to us, it goes to charity. One of our subscribers and his wife helps him pay medical bills because, maybe we need more spirituality in culture, in society, so that people don't have to pay medical bills like that, egregious medical bills, and have medical debt collectors chase them down. So, for now, if you can donate, please do so at Devon's Journey to Recovery. GoFundMe link in the description box. Also, don't forget, we will be live tonight for the Democratic debates. That's right. Should be a snooze fest, but maybe you can enjoy it watching it with us, or at least listening to it. I don't know if they're going to ban us for showing the content, but whatever. All right, so here we go. This Joshua Kahn Russell guy, I haven't heard of him before today, and I guess he's going to say some interesting things about spirituality to Michael Brooks. Here we go.
I spent the first kind of 15, 20 years of
I skipped through, so don't shame me for it. The whole video would be linked in the description box.
my organizing life just sprinting. And the intellectual and analytical tools that the left gave me were very useful, but they were all cerebral. And I lost access to my body's wisdom. I lost access to my spirit's wisdom. I lost access to my heart's wisdom. And I didn't have a way to grapple with the scale of change that's underway.
Now, I've said things like this in regards to you can't just use pure logic. But I bet Sam Cedar fans would call me dumb for saying that. But since this guy's on Michael Brooks' show, it's all good. It's all legitimate. Just saying, it's my gripe.
And in that process, I hit a wall. I became completely bedridden for 3 years. And I found a spiritual pathway out of that. And in doing so, realized that actually the secularism of the left is one of the barriers that we have to fight, because, you brought up sort of the despair of the UK elections.
All right, so the secularism of the left seems to be a barrier at points. I'm like, yeah, I agree with that. Yes, right. We should be focused on some metaphysical concepts like corruption and all the branches of corruption. Greed and vanity and all those things. Right? Those are concepts, right? Those are real things, aren't they? I think he's saying those are real things. Maybe we should focus on those. Let's see if he goes that direction with this.
One of the things that engaging spirit has taught me is that faith is actually the opposite of fear, and that all revolutionaries have to be grounded in a tremendous amount of faith.
Faith is the opposite of fear? Is that what he said, right? The opposite? I don't know about that. That doesn't make sense to me. You see, faith sounds more like a belief of something, right? Meaning it's not grounded in knowing, as opposed to fear, which is actually you, right? Fear isn't something happening to you. It is you expressing itself, right? An aspect of you expressing itself. So that's a place of knowing, right? I am me. I am afraid. It isn't I am faith. It's I have faith. As in, there's a somewhat of a degree of separation there, right? Am I getting this wrong? Also, I'd consider faith in the intellectual realm and fear in the more of the you know, you can say, I want to say feminine, but I don't know if that'll get there. Let's call it emotional realm. Let's say emotional realm, right? So it's like, I don't see how those are opposites. Just looking at this schematically, that doesn't make sense to me. Right? Also, I've heard things like Donnie Darko, where it's like, love is the opposite of fear. And that bullshit. It's like, no. Like, if it is something, it's you. The fear is you. The love is you. It's a part of this. They're teammates. They're supposed to be working together. Right? Aren't you supposed to get, like, fucking sweaty palms or fucking nervous or something when there's a giant tiger, like, staring you in the eyes, like, with it licking its lips, like it's about to eat you? Like, shouldn't fear be, like, worthy then? Right? Isn't that a tool? Isn't that helpful? Isn't it honest? Isn't it something that can't be wrong? Let's put it that way. You can have faith in something that's just completely wrong. Fear is something like that's what it is. Yeah, I would consider fear on the spectrum of self. Faith is on the spectrum of ego, which is a part of self, but shallow water version. Anyways, let's continue. That's just that concept that he just threw out there just doesn't make sense to me unless he could explain that further.
And we can talk more about that, but just to kind of set the table, the organization that I work with now, the Wildfire Project, we have a very pragmatic approach to trying to assess what are the internal barriers within the culture of the left that are holding us back from winning power.
What? What are the internal barriers that are stopping the left from getting in the power? It's like, what? Alright, I'm not going to bullshit you. I've watched this whole video already. And I'm just going to give my little assessment here. This sounds like using spirituality as a strategy for winning political power. I'm not making that up. The video will be linked in the description box. Watch the whole thing. And you tell me if it doesn't sound like a strategy or a quick fix to get people to stop arguing with each other and collectivize to win some sort of political thing. I think they even speak against, like, people are trying too much to be individuals or something like that. I believe they say something like that. Jesus Christ. No one ever looks at it and say, hey, it's like, man, how do we keep losing? It's like, maybe because you're trying to strategize when you're dealing with something that's metaphysical, like corruption, or something where it's like it's embedded in the psyche of certain people, right? And that leads them to do certain actions. That's never diagnosed. That's never assessed. It's just, well, if we vote against them here, then one day our guy will get in and then we'll win. There's still corruption around, dude. In fact, you guys might have partook in corruption in order to beat the more corrupt. Meaning you've went nowhere really fast. You're Tim pooling. Let's call it that. You're running really fast, slowly. I can't do that. No, I'm not allowed to do that, right? Whatever. All right. Fuck it. But, yeah. I mean, this piqued my interest when I saw it. I found the video from Michael Brooks's Twitter. And I saw the word spiritual. I'm like, whoa, really? Interesting. Now, I'm going to be real with you. Part of my mind's like, they're going to fuck this up somehow. And I'm questioning whether this is a strategy in order to clean up the other people that don't buy into their bullshit, their strategy bullshit. Part of me wants to look at that. I'm not so sure that's the case. Yeah, I think Michael Brooks means well. He's just has like lower moral intelligence, pretty relatively low, relatively high compared to Hillary Clinton, but relatively low compared to I don't know, like an MLK or something, or one of those famous people. I'll say someone who I'm sure is a lot more like a Krishnamurti or Alan Watts. Like, someone I'm sure who I've heard say other things other than political movements and stuff, who seem embedded in ideas of spirituality. Not, I'm going to borrow some of this for so Bernie can win, so we can get Medicare for all. Why don't your reasoning just be like, oh, it's the right thing to do. We need to make sure everyone's taken care of, whatever means that is. But these guys are in the realm of capitalism is bad and will always be bad no matter what. They're in that realm. They can't diagnose actual corruption. That's why they're relying on systems, which is why they're borrowing spirituality in order to use it as another aspect of strategy for their political purposes. That's the way it seems to me. And if you ask me, it's empty. It's poverty. That's what it is. It's poverty of spirituality, or spirituality of poverty. It's empty. No, not fully empty, but pretty empty, pretty shallow. All right, you guys tell me what you think. I'm done. Subscribe if you like, comment, agree, disagree. Tell me what you think. Is there room for spirituality in the left? I don't know why spirit would just fall in the left for some reason. I don't understand that at all. I don't know why spirituality has a political party, but okay. You tell me. Don't forget to donate. Wait. Actually, tell me if I'm right about this. Should we be focusing on, like, what is corruption? Instead of using corruption, I'll use something even more, like, biblical. What about evil? Is that a real thing? Does that exist? I hear people throw it around, but is there a real application of it? What is that thing? Where does it happen at? Is it a living being on its own? Is it devoid of a living being there? You tell me. Don't forget to donate. Devon's Journey to Recovery. GoFundMe link in the description box. And with all that said, give this video a thumbs down.
Say you wanna get in, and then you wanna get out. When you get the money to buy yourself a castle, how will you wear your leisure? You zipper back and front on the fence together. Weekends in leather, flip to the right and slip back to the left. For handshakes to the ranch and small talk at the crossroads, driving up to the ladder and sucking on every rung, coming up forever and hanging on. That's entertainment when the cameras roll.
Do what? Oh, shit. Forgot to stop.